I want to talk about Biden being denied because this is it's rather satisfying, and also he's doing things that I don't understand. So we'll talk about this first. I want to talk about this moratorium. Federal judge blocks Biden's 100-day moratorium on deportations. Texas challenged the immigration policy in court. A federal judge on Tuesday temporarily blocked Biden's attempt to a moratorium on deportations. You know what? Hold on. Before I continue, do you notice how it's President Biden and all of these things? When even 4 years into President Trump's term, they called him Mr. Trump. I mean, it's so blaringly obvious. I just had to point that out because it was frustrating me in the past 6 months. Every time I would read an article about President Trump, they'd be like, Mr. Trump does this. And it's like, President Trump? What do you mean, Mr. Trump? He earned it. He was president. You know, come on. Or he is president at the time of me reporting it. Anyway, I'll continue. I don't want to get too sidebarred here. A federal judge blocked President Biden's attempt to put a moratorium on deportations for 100 days. After Texas sued over the policy, the judge blocked Biden via a temporary restraining order from moving forward for 14 days. The Texas lawsuit claims that the administration would be violating an agreement it has with the Department of Homeland Security, and it would require at least 180 days notice, as well as as well as consultation prior to implementing changes in immigration policy. It is unclear whether these terms are enforceable, but similar agreements were struck with several other states under the former administration. The U.S. District Judge implemented a nationwide injunction because of geographically limited order would not adequately protect Texas's interests due to the free flow of movement of illegal aliens from other states. Fox News exclusively reported over the weekend that an email sent last week to ICE officers called for stopping all removals and to release them, undocumented immigrants, all immediately. Biden has pledged to move forward with a moratorium on deportations as his administration resets its approach towards U.S. immigration following the change in administration. Non-citizens who have engaged in or who are suspected of engaged in terrorism and espionage can still be deported. The moratorium, which took effect on Friday, also does not apply to persons who are not physically present in the U.S. as of November 1st, 2020. The Biden administration was planning to announce further guidance on the issue by February 1st, and Texas actually became the first state to sue the Biden administration. Of course, that was big time news. They had to write a full article about how Texas is the first state to sue them. Well, you know what, Biden? The states, it's called the United States for a reason, all right? You are the president of the United States, but the governors are in control of their own states. So your federal, executive orders, like, he really is acting like a dictator. He's just slamming these executive orders down. I talked about it yesterday, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, just kind of reiterating over and over and over again that he's acting like a dictator, but I will add it in because it certainly does feel that way. He doesn't care. And I'll talk about this again because my wife and I, she's Swedish. She was not an American citizen, but we went through the paperwork. We paid all the fines and the fees. Well, not the fines, the fees to, appropriately follow the motions to legally be able to have her here and get her a green card so we can live together because she is my wife. There's an order of things that you do to become legal here. All right. Now, it was expensive. It was not cheap. It was thousands of dollars. So now you're saying like we could have just waited okay, you're a citizen now. She's not even a citizen. She can't vote. That's a whole nother step, a whole nother process, a whole nother thousands of dollars to even begin the process of becoming an actual citizen where you get to vote and everything. So what's the deal? They're just, well, thank you, Texas, because they have every right. Look, Texas law, like, hey, look, we didn't ask for these people. We don't want other states, people flooding to Texas, which, as we know, people are flooding to Texas. Californians are flooding to Texas. Joe Rogan flooded to Texas. Who else? Tesla, Elon Musk is bringing Tesla out to Texas. Of course, SpaceX can launch from Texas, so it does actually make a lot of sense for these people to move out there. But man, they're gonna ruin Texas. Texas is awesome, mind you. I've been to Texas many times. One of my best friends lives in Texas. It's a lot of fun. I love Texas. The people in Texas are awesome. Every single time I've been in Texas, I'm like, this is cool. Everyone I've met has been awesome. So shout out to Texas, because they're basically saying, sorry, Biden, you don't control us. We're going to sue you for it. And they are. So they're suing it. But I want to keep the subject on Biden. I'm going to talk about the executive order that he suspended. First, I'm going to talk about what the executive order was. All right. It was May 1st, 2020. President Trump signed an executive order 13920 securing the United States bulk power systems, BPSEO, which authorizes U.S. Secretary of Energy Dan, I don't know how to say it, Brulet, to work with federal partners and energy industry to secure America's bulk power system. The Department of Energy issued a press release on May 1st, 2020. On December 17th, Secretary Brulet issued a prohibition order related to the EO. Prohibition order securing critical defense facilities. The order applies a limited number of utilities and specific BPS electric equipment for the People's Republic of China that poses an undue risk to the BPS. The security or resilience of critical infrastructure, the economy, national security, or safety and security of Americans. The DOE issued a press release on December 17, 2020. In anticipation of issuing a notice of proposed rulemaking later this year, the department is reviewing comment submissions by the request of information that closed on August 24th. The public may view comments submitted in response to the RFI. However, please note that regulations.gov may have reduced functionality on Tuesdays and Thursdays as the beta site is tested. All right, so look, it's right here. The order applies to a limited number of utilities and specific BPS electric equipment from the People's Republic of China that pose an undue risk to the BPS. All right, so Trump clearly wanted to protect us from China infiltrating our power system. Because why should they be able to touch our power grid at all? Period. Right? That is, I don't understand it. I don't understand why. I want to know why. Well, let's dig into it. Biden suspends Trump executive order. Opens the door for China to influence our electric grid. It's from 3 days ago. In yet another indication that Biden plans on selling the United States down the river to China, the overmatched Biden quietly revoked an executive order issued by President Trump, which was intended to keep foreign countries out of our power grid. Trump's order was indirectly intended to keep China, our primary enemy, out of our infrastructure. Okay, I just got to say, this is awfully biased. All right, but it's got the information that I wanted to talk about in it. Just a fair warning here. Biden's, and I'm not saying I don't agree with him. Just also wanted to add that. Okay, so Biden's executive order on protecting public health and environment and restoring science to tackle the climate change undoes all of that. That's a long title, isn't it? Along with revoking the permit for the Keystone XL pipeline, which experts say will eliminate thousands of jobs, Biden's orders to pull back on several of climate and energy-focused executive orders that have been implemented under Trump administration. The portion that exposes our power grid to foreign control is under subpoint C, which says Executive Order 13920 of May 1st, securing the United States bulk power system, is hereby suspended for 90 days. That's it. He suspended it for 90 days. Why? What? What's the reason? There's no reason. It's just, that's it. Just we're going to suspend it for 90 days. We're going to let China get into our electric, or our subsystem for 90 days. Trump's executive order was intended to ban, replace, and set new critical criteria on bulk power systems, electric equipment coming from a foreign country or nation which may pose a national security threat. And this is more from, well, let's see if it's different. Foreign adversaries are increasingly creating and exploiting vulnerabilities in the United States bulk power system, which provides the electricity that supports our national defense, vital emergency services, critical infrastructure, economy, and way of life. The bulk power system is a target of those seeking to commit malicious acts against the United States and its people, including malicious cyber activities, because a successful attack on our bulk power system would present significant risks to our economy, human health and safety, and would render the United States less capable of acting in defense of itself and its ally. The intro to Trump's order read. And they pose it right. The question is, why would Biden want to overturn or suspend that order for 90 days? To what end? Why? Either Biden is naive to the threat posed by the Communist Party, the CCP, he doesn't care, or perhaps there's a financial incentive somewhere for a member in the Biden family. Now that seems a little more on par with what it seems to be like. That's it. Why? What is the reasoning? In fact, someone actually asked the new press secretary, Chen Satka. I don't know how to say her name, but she's the worst. She's very good at avoiding hard questions. Emerald Robinson asked her. Let me see if I can play this for you guys. Just gonna turn the volume up.
And then we'll come to you, sir. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. In an executive order that the president signed last week, he also suspended a Trump administration executive order that was particularly aimed at keeping foreign countries,
Sorry, let me turn it up for you.
specifically China, from interfering in the U.S. power grid. But he suspended that for 90 days in that executive order last week. Given what you said about China today, why did he do that, especially related to something so critical to our national security as the power grid?
I think the president's view on our relationship with China, I tried to do my best to convey to all of you. I'll have to check on that specific piece, and we'll circle back with you directly.
What? So you don't know at all? So she doesn't have an answer? So, there was no sound? All right, look. I'll tell you what. She was asked, she basically broke down everything I just said, why did Biden do that? Well, you know Biden's relationship with China, and I'll circle back and get back to you. That's what happened. That's oh, now it was too loud? All right, well, you guys heard it. So she doesn't have an answer. We deserve an answer. Why is the United States president giving China access to our power grid when clearly we have all these things being made in foreign countries? China makes most of our stuff. 80% of our imports are coming from China. What? How do we know that they don't have some sort of Trojan horse system in anything that they need access to be able to manipulate? I don't trust this president. Okay? They didn't trust President Trump for stupid reasons. I don't trust this president for very obvious reasons. He's not even being quiet about it. And then the press secretary, well, I don't know anything about that. I'll get back to you. Like, excuse me? How did you not understand what was going on? How did you not expect that? She doesn't get hardball questions like Kayleigh McEnany did, who, man, I miss. She was a straight shooter. I'm seeing people online like, man, isn't it just nice to have a press secretary that doesn't lie to you? Like, lie to you? Did you ever even listen to Kayleigh speak? She was a boss. She shut the reporters down because she brought the answers to literally everything they spoke about. Drops hammers on them. This woman is really a good political press secretary. Political. Because she avoids all the hardball questions, or rather the answers, because she was asked this by Emerald Robinson, and it's a legitimate question. How come Biden gave China access to our power grid? How? Why is that a thing? Why is that being allowed to happen? That really annoys me. It frustrates me that we're not even getting an answer. And there wasn't even an explanation in him doing it. Where is it? It's just right here. This is all it says under subpoint C. It's just suspended for 90 days. That's it. It's just suspended for 90 days. No explanation, no reason, just simply it is. And then people are like, if you don't know what the Executive Order 13920 is, then you're just like, well, you're clueless. Like, okay, well, what does that mean? Securing the United States bulk power system. How is that suspended? Why should that be suspended? At least answer it. Pisses me off, man. I have a feeling this is not going to be the end. You know, man. It's not going to be the end, yo. We're going to see much more of this kind of stuff going forward. I hope not. I hope not. You know, I would love to believe that he actually does care about American citizens. I'll believe it when I see it. It feels like it's China first for him and not America first, which I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's best, like when you're on a plane, don't you put your own oxygen mask on first? You take care of yourself first before you help others. That's just a natural thing. Well, if you pass out trying to help other people, then that's someone passed out. If everyone's trying to do that, instead of everyone just take care of themselves and then worry about others, because once you yourself are taken care of, then you can definitely go help others. That's what I want. I want American citizens to have jobs. I want American citizens to be taken care of. All right? Not the millions of illegal immigrants that are traveling up because Biden's like, we're not going to deport everyone. We're just going to let everyone become a citizen. It's like, okay, so can I have the money back that I spent and all the hours of time that my wife put into becoming, getting her green card to legally be here? Can I get that back? No? Oh, no? Well, why not? You're just going to, snap your finger and all of a sudden they're going to be citizens. It's ridiculous. All right. Oh, yeah. Check this out. It's from Elijah Schaefer. The Washington Monument and the White House went dark tonight. This was 2 days ago. Huh. What? That's interesting. It's almost like someone's fiddling with our power grid. The lights, the White House power went out. The power to the White House went out. What? One of the most important buildings. It's the executive branch's building. How is the power going to go out in Washington, D.C., in one of the most important buildings in the country, after Biden gave China access to our power grid? Look, I don't know if there's a connection. I don't know if there's a connection, but it's ridiculous that this kind of stuff now is happening. Really? No one seems to be able to explain why, Elijah says. Well, I mean, I could tell you. I think it's China. No, I have no proof of that. I don't know how I'm supposed to sit here and prove that. I'm not some internet expert. Someone in chat just said dark winter. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that dark winter that Joe Biden was talking about, maybe that's what it is. Maybe the power grid is going to suffer some sort of foreign attack. And everyone's going to lose electricity for a long time. Granted, you just gave them access to our power grid, Joe Biden. So if something does happen, I'm blaming you. You're the one who added that in your executive order to... Man, the name of the executive order was ridiculous. The name of his executive order was ridiculously long. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on. He named it some ridiculous long name. Here we go. executive order on protecting public health and environment and restoring science to tackle the climate crisis. Okay, what does giving China access to our power grid have anything to do with anything on that list? Protecting public health, environment, restoring science to tackle the climate crisis? What does China accessing our power grid have anything to do with that? It doesn't. Classic political maneuvering. Look at the name of this executive order. Who can deny that? Who can be upset with the Patriot Act, which I'm going to do an episode on soon, because Biden's now claiming that he wrote it. And he actually said that he wrote it. Interesting. Took a lot of rights away from American citizens, allowed the government to spy on us. Now he's in charge. He wrote the Patriot Act. He's trying to take power away from the people and give it to the elites. Man, no wonder they like China so much. The CCP. The CCP runs everything. The CCP stays in power. It's monarchy again. They're trying to maintain power. They don't want we the people. They don't want people voting for who's in charge. They probably think that's crazy. That people can pick and choose. They probably think people are stupid. They do. They definitely have treated people that like they're stupid. Guaranteed. I've said it multiple times. They just want you to shut up and accept things. People don't like shutting up and accepting things. We're Americans. We're bold. We're brash. We're open about what we believe. All right? Well, at least that's how I feel. Right? I don't know. We'll see, because I'm expecting some sort of foreign attack on our power grid. I really hope that doesn't happen. Dark winter, my goodness.